Hey students, it's Candace. I'm going to be talking you through what we're going to do in week 2 of our class together. So I'm in D2L. I'm logged in as a student, so I'm going to go to Content and go to the week 2 checklist. So the first thing on the list is the orientation to week 2 video, which is this, so you're watching that. And because we don't have class on Monday, the first day of the week will be Tuesday, so we're going to start with our house meeting. I will once again post the links to your houses in the news feature of D2L. And when you get together with your group, you'll open up house meeting number 2 worksheet. Let me go ahead and pull that up. And in that one, you will appoint a team leader. You'll appoint the team leader for next week, and then you will take the Dilemmas and Ethical Biases TRAT, and then you will complete 2 team activities, one having to do, or both having to do with values. One is specific to Harry Potter, and then you will upload it to your Dropbox. I'll also mention that you're going to have your peer evaluations, but we're going to do it a little bit different this time. Instead of you filling out a Word document, you're going to get a link to an online peer evaluation, and you will fill that out. Let me go back to our D2L. And let's start talking about the actual content of this week, because the house meeting and D2L kind of wrap up the ethical dilemmas and basic to ethics from week 1. In this week, what we're going to do is we're going to be moving closer towards writing your ethical analysis. And that's what week 3 is going to be. It's going to be almost solely just writing your ethical analysis essay. And as you may recall from the syllabus, you need to pass that essay in order to pass the class, because that's the capstone project for this course. And this week, we're going to be learning about different ethical frameworks, perspectives, what we call ethical theories, that help you decide a course of action when you're faced with an ethical dilemma. And there are 3 major ones. There is utilitarianism, deontology, and virtue ethics. And there are a few other little ones that are related that we'll also explore, but I just want you to think about that as we go through. I also like to emphasize this because what you're learning this week, you are absolutely 100% going to need for the ethical analysis next week. So make sure that as we progress through the week, you take careful notes, that you contact me right away if you're confused about anything, and that you just feel very comfortable with the course content. I also want this week to see more of a push to include course content in your Facebook posts. You guys did fabulously on the first week, and this week I want to see you use words like ethical dilemma. I want to see you be using the different ethical theories in your starting posts and your comments, things of that nature. Speaking of the Facebook page, I'll also point out that each day I have a reminder to post to the Facebook group, but to try and spread out the news stories, I also indicate which house should start posts on each day, and you can still start a post. If you're in Ravenclaw and you see a great story and you want to post it on Tuesday, you can still do that. It's just know that on Wednesday you're going to have to do it again. Let me make sure, yeah, Ravenclaw does it on Wednesday. So just kind of pay attention to which day you're responsible for. Alright, so you do the house meeting, you do the peer review, and then you're going to complete this worksheet, which asks you to start applying course content to your Harry Potter book. And we have a handout called Can Reading Harry Potter Make You a More Tolerant Person? Let me go ahead and pull that one up. And in this assignment, you will read an article from the New York Times that talks about a study, and then you're going to tell me whether you agree with the study, and then provide examples from your assigned Harry Potter book that fit with your answer to number 1. Then you will submit that to the Dropbox. If I go to the Dropbox, see, there's week 2, and then there's Harry Potter Intolerance, and that's where you will submit that folder, that assignment. Okay, I go back to the checklist and move on to Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to start using the handbook, and there's a link to the handbook here, and it's a PDF file. Now, if you were to click on this and just open it in D2L, what it's going to do is it's going to try to open it in the viewer, but this is a huge file, and students have told me that sometimes the whole file will not load. So this is one of those where you absolutely have to download it. When you download it, it's going to open up as a PDF, and it'll show in your Adobe Acrobat Reader. One thing I want to point out too is, if I go back to the D2L, it tells you what pages to go to and what questions to read. And so for the first reading on Wednesday, we had to read pages 207 to 211. So if I go to the PDF, I can put into this 207, but that's not quite 207 yet. When I say 207, I mean the actual page number in the book. And if I increase the size, you can see I'm only at 201. So I know I just need to scroll down. If I scroll down to 207, oops, let's just, okay, there's 206, and then there's 207, make it a little bigger, and then there's question number 20, question 21, and so on. If I go back to my, you can see read questions 20 through 29. So that's how the handbook works. Then you will take the moral relativism and utilitarianism quiz, which is what the reading was on. And there's that quiz. And then you will do a moral relativism argument exercise, and this will ask you to apply the reading. There's another separate exercise asking you to apply the reading, is particularly about utilitarianism. And I'll point out this one actually has an extra credit component. So if you're looking for some extra credit, that's a good opportunity for you. Post to the Facebook group again. Ravenclaw and Slytherin will be the ones responsible for starting posts. Everyone else should be responding. Then on Thursday, we have more reading. Once again, you're back in the handbook, so you'll go to pages 211. And so if I scroll down, I'll just shrink it a little so you can see a little better. There we go. And then I start reading about deontology and how that perspective works. Once you've read that, and let me just clarify again. These theories aren't easy. Take very careful notes. That's really going to save your bacon later. You'll do a quiz, and then you will do the deontological arguments exercise. And once again, go to the Dropbox after you complete it. And there's the moral relativism exercise, there's the utilitarianism exercise, and then if I go to page 2, there's the deontology exercise. All right, I'm going to go back to my week 2 checklist. After you do the deontology, you're going to do an exercise called Harry Potter and Ethical Theories So Far. So in this one, let me pull up the document. You'll identify an ethical dilemma in your Harry Potter title and say what a moral relativist would say, what a utilitarian would say, and what a deontologist would say. So this is a little baby stepping stone towards your ethical analysis. In your ethical analysis paper, you're going to pick an ethical dilemma and then talk about what all the different perspectives say about it. So this is an intro to that. After you complete it, once again, you'll go to the Dropbox and submit it. You'll keep posting to Facebook. Hufflepuff is responsible for starting. The others will respond. And then on Friday, you have Virtue and Care Ethics. So a little bit more reading. Tells you what questions exactly. These are in the handbook again. You'll take the Virtue and Care Ethics quiz. And you'll do the Virtue and Ethics argument exercise. And submit that to the Dropbox. And let me go back up to the Dropbox. Go to page 2 again. And there's the Virtue Ethics Dropbox. If I go back to the checklist, I'll see I also have Facebook Roundup number 2, which you submit to D2L Dropbox. And this is one where I definitely will be grading to make sure that you are incorporating course content into what you consider your best post to Facebook. Let's see. That, I think, sums up what we're going to do this week. As a preview, for next week, on Monday, you will take an IRAT, and it will cover Virtue and Care Ethics, deontology, and utilitarianism, moral relativism, all in one quiz. It will be an IRAT, so you won't see the score for that one. And then in your team meeting on Tuesday, you'll take the TRAT. So these are practice ones, I guess you'd say. They count, but they're ones that they're kind of a stepping stone to the IRAT. I'm going to be checking in on these scores each day just to make sure that you're on the right track. If on Wednesday I look and you have gotten the moral relativism and utilitarianism arguments all wrong, I will contact you and advise you to do them over, because if you get it wrong, then you're not going to understand the other theories, and then when you do your ethical analysis, you're going to fail, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to be very proactive next week with touching base with you if I see that you have gone off the rails. That is the plan for next week. If you have any questions, email me, cbsmall@radford.edu. Thanks.